Welcome back to another episode of the Teddy Mack Show, DicKcipline edition. I saw a video today that kind of made me think about something I say all the time, or I used to say, but it's always been a thought in my head. It's an observation that I made throughout the years of being around different types of people. You know, uh, People who really know me know that I'm multifaceted. I can switch gears in a minute and fit into mostly any different situation. You know, um, I just done a lot with my life throughout the years and been in a lot of situations, so I can adapt pretty easily. But one thing I noticed throughout the years of being around kids who come from interracial relationships, specifically black and white or Caucasian and African American, whatever you want to call it. Um, those kids have a certain trauma about them that just the average kid don't have. A lot of times people won't look at it like that. They'll just think, a lot of time when the parents get together, it's all about their emotions, their feelings, they in love with each other. So they don't really think about what the kid may go through in the long run dealing with that situation. Because I'm gonna tell you something, when you're around white people or white kids coming up or whatever, or white peers, even though you may have a white mother or father, you're still not considered white. You're never gonna be white enough. You Deep down inside, you're not white to them or anybody else around you. You're not gonna get that same pass that your white parent get. And your white parent, they're not gonna understand that you don't get that same pass. They just basically made a decision to have you based on their emotions and the fact they were so-called in love or in lust or whatever happened one night of pleasure, may have been married, whatever, I don't know. Okay. This video is not for me to tell you who to be with. If you decide to want to do it, that's on you. I'm not saying it's exclusive to everybody. Everybody's going to be this way or turn out this way, but it is a very, very large percentage that this same trauma is going to hit your kid too. And I've seen it for years and years. Because I'm gonna tell you, when those kids go out and try to get into the circles that they feel that they should be entitled to get in, which is maybe with other white kids, they feel like their parent white, that they have a certain um, privilege of whiteness or whatever, for lack of a better term. Um, and it's just not that way. And a lot of them get that rude awakening, and then when they come home and they frustrated because they didn't get accepted on certain levels they want to get accepted on, who are they gonna come home and complain to? They'll come home and complain to their white mother or father and tell them those goddamn crackers, or I just experienced racism, or these people treated me a certain type of way. They're not going to understand it. They're just not going to understand your plight. They're not going to understand it. Period. And it's sad because they let their lust create a child and put the child into a situation to lose. Because most mulattoes, and I know a lot of mulattoes I've been around, they all have that same hang up, that they don't know what side to go on. If they do decide to pick a side, it's an extreme. They pick it to the extreme. If they pick the black side, they all in. They all in, and they go beyond the call of whatever black is supposed to be to the mainstream or to them or what they perceive it to be. Straight up. And if they decide to go with the white side, they just straight all in. You hear them on the telephone, you think they're white until you meet them. And it's just an imbalance there. It's just not fair to send them through that. And I can kind of feel what this girl is saying. I'm gonna share this thing with you. This girl right here. She basically encompasses everything that I say about why you should not have mixed breed kids, because they go through a certain level of trauma that you would never understand. And then on top of it, she's she's a millennial or whatever how she is, and She's in college and she's adopted this new ideology with all this victim mindset because she became a victim a long time ago when the white kids rejected her. I already know what it is. She got that wake up call one day where she got rejected by those white kids, and it hurt her. I could see it, I could hear it and everything, and how she talking, everything she say. So I'm gonna share this video with you, and you tell me what you think, because this woman is really she's really experiencing a lot of trauma right now, and it's basically brought on because she don't feel like anybody understands her, and I see where she's coming from, and this is why I'm against having interracial children.
That I had with another Black woman who is extremely religious that I have known pretty much my entire life. Basically, she is a family friend. Up until now, I have had so much respect for her, even though she's ridiculously religious. I feel like she has a government job of some sort. I don't know exactly what she does, but she lives in Texas, so that should have been a red flag. But she didn't post anything about being a Trump supporter. At least I don't think. So it all started when she posted a story on Instagram, clapping. Well, not her clapping, but using the clapping emojis on a repost where it said that Donald Trump put an executive order to ban transgender women from women's sports. I basically responded and was like, wow, this is such a waste of time. And she just like laughed it off and was like, oh, da, da, da. I don't remember what she said, but it was unimportant. One thing that I will not be is tolerant of the intolerant. I got into her ass. I said, believing that trans women competing in women's sports is a systemic issue that needs to be fixed is the definition of transphobia. Literally, there are like less than 10 in all of NCAA college athletes.
Well, first of all, ain't no such thing as no damn trans woman. It's a woman or a man, okay? And this guy who think because he wants to be a woman and he's going through all these weird surgeries or weird things he's doing to transform his body, he could do that to the cows come home. You'll never be a woman. And I don't agree with no woman being in no sports competing against no men. If the trannies want to compete against women, compete against trans women. You say trans women are real women, compete against a trans woman. They should have a trans woman league and let them dudes go in there and box it out, fight it out, do whatever they're gonna do, get it all out. But yeah, and I'm gonna tell you, these girls or these people who are caught up like this, they don't know where to go. They grasping straws from everywhere. They get involved and get on board with all type of foolishness because they have no sense of belonging nowhere. They don't have a sense of belonging to the white people. And I'm pretty sure by her being light skinned and attractive, that she done had some hood rat, dark skinned chick. And there's nothing wrong with a dark skinned chick, but I'm just telling you how it probably played out with her. Because I've had light skinned women around me sit down and kick it with me and talk to me and tell me one of their worst traumas was a dark skinned chick hating on them and traumatized them coming up as a kid, and they always got picked on because they were light skinned. So I'm pretty sure she probably don't feel a sense of belonging with blacks either, unless you get with a black dude, and the black dude will probably take her and be with her, whatever. But she's still not gonna feel that sense of belonging because she wants that connection with her mother, and it seems like you'll see along the way, it's just not clicking between her and her mother. So let's keep it moving. But this thing about trans women, forget all that. I don't agree with none of that.
A non-issue. Not to mention, when people start taking hormones, they have less advantages than they would if they did not transition. And athletes having advantages over other athletes is nothing new. We see it all the time. Some cisgender athletes are super tall, some are super strong, some are super
But guess
fast.
what, though? They are women. They are women, biological women that are born to be women. So all that stuff about they taking hormones and all this other stuff, who cares? It is still a man.
I sent her a video of a creator on here talking about the bigotry of trying to ban transgender women from women's sports. And she just broke it down really great. This girl responds saying, you know, you can support women's sports and not wanting men playing women's sports. Trans women are women. Biological
No, they are not women.
sex and gender are two different things.
Boy.
Look at the mental gymnastics you have to go through to understand what this woman is talking about. It is crackpot crazy. Also, too, this video right here originated on a Black conservative perspective. You got Mr. Greg Foreman over there. Go check him out. Very, very intelligent dude. He knows his stuff. I get a lot of information from him too. I don't know everything, and I'm not going to claim to know everything. All of us can learn from each other. So it is what it is. So let's go with it.
Boy. So we got to talk about this fascinating TikTok from this woman who appears to be suffering from Trump derangement. And when she tried to talk to her mother about Trump derangement, apparently her mother wasn't having it, right? Her mother was just like, hey, you know, go outside, right? Touch grass, breathe some air. You're going to be all right, right? You're going to be all right. Now, the funny part about this is that the mother of this woman happens to be white. And this woman is accusing her mother of being racist for ignoring her concerns as a half Black person in this country that is living under President Trump. And I want to react to it because it really shows you just how deranged some of these liberals are in this country, and that politics is quite literally dividing families. And stuff like this really shouldn't happen. And, you know, that's the unfortunate reality of having your brain on MSNBC. So I want to talk about it. But before we get into it, we have to have a word from the sponsor of this video, Noble Gold. How fast can stock market sentiment change? In an instant. And there's no guarantee of any kind.
Is it like having a white mother who was uneducated on what it would be like having Black children before she had them, you say? It looks like
Well, I tell y'all, you have to understand what you're getting yourself into. And it's not just about love and feelings. It's not just about, oh, I love this woman and we're going to be together and we're going to have children and all this other stuff. It's deeper than that. You have to understand what you're doing. You creating a life. You're creating somebody who is going to have to go through major hurdles. You starting this girl off from a major disadvantage. She's starting out the gate with a bunch of trauma that she's going to carry with her for the rest of her life. And her mother's so disconnected that she don't even really understand where she's coming from. Now, I don't excuse her Trump derangement, but also, too, her Trump derangement was brought on by propaganda and her just listening to the wrong people. Because it's no reason for her to feel the way she feel about Trump other than being brainwashed by watching too much Joyless Reed. But good thing we got rid of Joyless Reed, so that's a beautiful thing. But let's keep going.
Racial gaslighting, such as what happened yesterday. My anxiety and depression has been at an all-time high with recent world events. My white mother told me that the only reason that I'm upset is because I spend too much time on social media.
Facts. Let's keep it 100. Let's keep it all the way 100. A lot of these people that are depressed, okay, they got anxiety, all these issues, okay? Yeah, you're spending too much time on social media, right? You're spending too much time on TikTok, on Blue Skies, whatever it's called, right? The left-wing Twitter. You're spending too much time watching MSNBC, CNN. Yeah, you need to go outside and live real life, right? You need to go out there and, you know, talk to people, meet new people, right? Just go live real life, okay? Because a lot of these people, again, they are living their lives in fear, unjustifiably. And that is what's leading to the depression and the anxiety.
That I would be a lot happier if I just lived my life. She told me, you know what? I'm not going to be a part of the resistance. I'm going to live my fucking life. That's what you need to start doing.
Facts. That is what you
Exactly.
need to start doing, right? Your mother is 100% right. You don't need to be a part of the resistance.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop it here for a second too, because I tell my daughter the same thing, and I've told my daughter the same thing. Don't get all wrapped up in this crap. They're just using you. All this old feminism crap, that stuff don't benefit you not one bit. Only thing feminism has done has put you in a weaker position and exposed you to more harm and hurt and danger by not having a man in your life to provide for you and protect you and cover you and the children that you create with them. And then the dumb part is you all have a couple kids or a few kids by the dude or whatever, and you'll turn around and divorce him and then go right back to looking for a dude and think the next dude want to take you and your kids on. What the hell? Why you ain't working out with your man? Because I'm going to tell you something. We like this. If you couldn't work it out with him, what makes you think you're going to work it out with us? You a quitter. That's the one thing you showed me. Whenever I see a woman say she divorced or she left her husband or she left whatever, you a quitter, shawty. So I don't see you as a good partner or somebody to rely with a role with me in the trenches. You a quitter. You won't even stay in the trenches long enough to make the shit work.
Okay, you don't need to do that at all. You need to live your life. Okay, you can't be one of these people that is walking around every single day worried about Orange Man, right? Trying to always be fighting for social justice and all this stuff. No, just be happy, right? Enjoy your family. Okay, be a normal person. I'm just saying. I think the mother is correct.
You would be a better mother if you did that. Mind you, I am a Black woman with a Black son. So no, I don't have the privilege to be able to just turn my head the other way when shit is going down the drain. My mother full on triggered a fight or flight response in me that was triggered as a response to the racial gaslighting, the emotional and verbal abuse that I have experienced my entire life. And then after she triggered that response in me, she told me that I was crazy and unstable and threatened to call CPS on me because she knows as a white woman that she could easily call the police and get my child taken away from me as a form of revenge and racism.
Wow.
What I tell you, she is caught up on the extreme side, on the Black side. On the Black side. She don't even feel any type of connection with her own mother to the point to even identify with her. I mean, she feels totally alienated from her mother. She has nothing positive to say about the connection with her mother. She done called her mother a racist, called her a bigot. I mean, that's your mother. I mean, your mother can't be much of a racist. She let a Black dude bust up in her. I mean, she liked Black men. I mean, she had a Black man for your father. I mean, what the hell are you talking about? I mean, what she wanted him? Your father was just a fetish to her. He skied in her, and after that, she was done with him. I mean, I don't understand it. But I do know she's suffering from a lot of trauma from being put in that situation. I'm telling you, these mixed breed kids, something going on.
Wow, unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable. This woman is accusing her mother of being a racist because her mother is giving her good advice, right? Or how to not be depressed and walking around here with anxiety all the time, right? Her mother is giving her great advice. And also telling her, listen, you need to fix this issue because it is affecting your ability to take care of your child, right? There's no doubt in my mind that probably behind closed doors, the mother knows that her child may be unstable, right? There may be some issues, okay? The elevator may not go all the way to the top floor.
Straight up.
Right? So I don't think she said that out of revenge.
This woman got a kid. Can you imagine? Can you imagine the psychological damage she doing to the kid? And I ain't heard nothing about her kid's father. Who knows where he is? Because we know single mothers create single mothers. So the father not around. If the father was around, he would be able to balance things out a little better. You know, at least with the father there. I mean, she's totally disconnected from her daughter because she probably had a bad breakup with the father. And the girl is a representation of the father. She might look just like her father. Who knows? But women, they can't control it. They'll spite you and punish you because you look like the man that they chose, a man they didn't even have to have a kid with. And that's what I mean. You have a husband first before you have all these children, and you ain't got to worry about it. Okay. And also, too, it need to be harder to get divorced. I'm glad that they changing the laws and taking this no fault crap away and making these women think twice about ruining their marriage and their family and screwing their kids up with trying to run the street after they made a commitment. You made a commitment to be a mother and a wife. Live up. You shouldn't be able to just run away from it just because you think you're not happy or whatever, or things ain't going right. Relationships have bumps and bruises, and you got to deal with it. And if you're not equipped to roll with the bumps and bruises from the relationships and ups and downs, then maybe you don't need to be in one. You're a child. You're not a grown woman. Because a grown, mature woman would be able to roll with the trenches and save her family.
Racism. I think she said that out of legitimate concern for this woman and her child, her grandkid.
This is why a lot of times I am against white women having biracial children, especially with a Black person. I made the mistake of going to my mother for comfort when I told her that I was feeling helpless and that my anxiety was at an all-time
She
high.
don't understand you. She does not understand your level of anxiety, Shorty. She don't understand it. She is totally void of understanding anything you're talking about. She's not a mixed breed woman. She is not viewed as a black woman. She has her privilege built in. She don't have to cater to a certain group of people. She automatically fits into. And I know that you want to emulate that. I know you want to fit into that and be able to do the same thing like your mother do. But unfortunately, she made a decision to have a decision to have a kid with a black guy, and you are what you are. You shouldn't be ashamed of what you are, but you need to understand what you are and just hey, But it's hard. I know it's hard for her because she feel like she's not being supported. I get it, but at the same time too, you know, some she need to talk to her father.
And that I was suffering and felt isolated because when I go to my mother, instead of her being a place for comfort for me and inviting me over as a good mother would do, she just says, you're fine. Or she rolls her eyes.
Well, what was she supposed to say? Right? Was she supposed to sit there and boo hoo and cry and be depressed like you, or is she supposed to try to help you get over it? I think that she gave you the right advice. I feel like I'm that type of person, right? People, when they come to me for advice, I don't really jive with the boohoo whining and crying, the sad sob story. I'm not good with that. I'm not good with handling other people's feelings when they're emotional and they're sad about things I don't feel are justifiable, right? I'm not one of these people that's gonna sit down in a corner and that's gonna cry with you about your situation. I'm one of these people. If you ask me for advice, I'm gonna give it to you straight up.
Yeah, that sound like me too. I'm gonna give it to you 1,000. Whether you like it or not, you may hate me or you might not like me when I tell you, but you're gonna respect in the end. You're gonna come back in the end and respect the fact that I was straight up with you. I've had people do that. They didn't like it when I said it, but they came back later and told me they hate me because I was right, and I was the only one that told them the truth. So he's right. Tell them the truth.
regards to what I think you should do. We're not gonna be sitting around whine and grind. We're gonna be talking about how you fix your situation and how you can solve your problem. Right? That is what I'm about. I'm a solution oriented person because I don't like wasting my time on things I feel like are not productive. Okay, and boohoo whining and crying. Oh, woe is me. Right? I'm black. That's a waste of my time. Okay, it's a waste of my time. It's not productive. That's why I don't like doing it. Right? So, this is interesting, right? It's very interesting because this person also made the statement that she is against white mothers having black children, aka she's basically against how she was born, right? Again, it's sad. It really is that people have this type of mentality.
Um, I felt so attacked yesterday. And then, of course, my white grandparents just looked the other way while my mom told me that I was crazy for being scared about what's happening in the world, scared that I'm going to lose my rights and my.
Well, Shorty, I mean, you over for real. I mean, I understand what your mother's saying too. You're overreacting because Trump ain't taking nothing from you or nobody else. If you stop listening to the BS and you do your research, you will see what's really going on. This man is saving the goddamn country, and y'all scared to death. And then the man been in office. The man went in office 30 days, and they was on the news talking about, he said he was going to lower this and lower that and change this and change that. And anybody with any good common sense know that from the damage that the Biden administration done to this country, it's going to take a little bit of time to switch things around. The man is working as proficiently as possible. He's gutting out a lot of these people lying and stealing and BS in the country and taking us and putting us in a better position. And all y'all doing is whining and crying and assisting the people who've been stealing from us and got us back against the wall right now. I mean, let the man be president. You're not president. What Biden did didn't work. It put us further behind the eight ball. Let the man do his thing. You panicking, doing this Trump arrangement crap like her, I get it. I understand. You brainwashed, shawty. You need to wake the hell up. Because right now, you're going through too much trauma. You shouldn't have had no kids. Straight up. You're not in the right mindset to have children.
Son is going to lose his right. My son.
Well, I mean, she's right. You're not going to lose any rights. What rights have you lost? You haven't lost any rights. Sounds to me like the mother is wise, right? The grandparents are wise too. That's what it sounds like to me. And again, this doesn't have anything to do with their skin color, their race. I mean, like, I'm black and I agree with them. I side with them, right? You're not losing any rights at all. So yes, your complaints are unjustified. And I definitely understand why they roll in their eyes, because I mean, this is ridiculous.
Son has ADHD and needs accommodations in school. I am terrified that those are going to be taken away from him. I'm a disabled person, and I'm terrified that the world is going to become.
Why are you disabled? This woman's sitting here talking about she's disabled. What are you disabled, and why are you brainwashing your kid into thinking that they're inferior or disabled? Your son, nothing wrong with your son. You are what's wrong with your son. You are going to brainwash your son and turn and mess your kid head up, just like these single women been messing their sons' heads up. I'm going to tell you something. It need to be a law passed that they need to get the boys away from you crazy ass, loony ass broads. Straight up. The boy need to go with the father. After the baby get past the point of needing a mother for breast milk or whatever, and that first initial care, when the boy get to be about 18 months, 2 years old, get his ass away from his mother, because his mother's going to destroy him. I'm telling you.
An even harder place for me to navigate as a Black person, a woman, and a disabled person.
Congratulations. You got 3 Infinity Stone awards.
Damn.
You want a trophy? You want a trophy? But that's what these people think. They really do think that, hey, the world is supposed to capitulate to me, right, and my needs. If I victimhood categories, right? The more Infinity Stone workers that you have, the more you're supposed to feel bad, right? That's essentially how it goes.
My mother will likely not have to experience the fear that I have. And she doesn't care because she decides to turn her head the other way.
It's not even that. She's totally detached because her struggle is not your struggle. Your mother does not understand what's going on with you because that's not the life she lived. Your mother not walking around here worrying about Trump doing this and doing that. Your mother understands what's going on. Your grandparents, I mean, I understand why you're taking up with all these different groups, because they're making you feel wanted. They're making you feel like you belong to something. You already expressed to us that you have a disconnect with your mother. You have a disconnect with your grandmother, your grandparents rather. You said all of them are fading you off like, you know, like nothing. So basically, that's what it is with you. They fading you off because you coming off crazy to them because they don't understand your point of view. They don't understand where you're coming from. Nobody can understand what it is to get hit by a stun gun or a taser and tell somebody, hook you up with that joint. You could talk about it. You could see somebody get stung all day long with it. But you would never know until you get hit with it. And that's what's going on with her. I don't even think that they are being racist or anything like that towards her. They just don't understand. And I'm going to tell you something. When you deal with people too long with the foolishness, after a while, they're going to be bothered. Like right now, you know, the other day, somebody was trying to talk to me and they was talking foolishness, and I basically just like broke the conversation off and got the hell away from them because they was talking stupid. And, you know, it's too much other stuff to be doing to be sitting up entertaining an idiot or somebody talking dumb stuff. But this a woman, so you know, women are emotional. She's gonna talk like that because everything is about emotions with her. She feel rejected by her mother. She feel rejected by her grandkids. I mean, by her grandparents. And who knew? Heck, no, she ain't said nothing about her father. So her father might have been long gone. Who knows? Her father might have been a dude that just smashed her mother one night, and that was it. You never know, because I ain't hearing nothing about him.
Never know what it's like, and she doesn't care to know. I did some research to validate myself, and this is something that abusers do. They intentionally trigger their victims, and then when their victims have an elevated response to the abuse that is happening. For me, my PTSD as a survivor of childhood trauma was triggered, and I reacted appropriately because I was directly in the face of a threat and harm. So then
this woman is just she's turned herself into a professional victim. That's all she is at this point. She's a professional victim. This woman has not said anything in specific as what traumatized her in her childhood. She haven't said anything. Everything has been ambiguous and just out the blue. She haven't said anything about I fell off my bicycle and hurt myself. Someone took my pony. She ain't said nothing. She just saying, oh, all these ambiguous statements about she was traumatized. Okay, all of us been traumatized. What really got you traumatized, Shorty? Because you talking in circles, and for real, I kind of understand because I've been around a lot of you mulattoes for a while, and I observe it. I see the disconnect and the dysfunction. I know where you're feeling because I've seen it. You don't feel like you belong somewhere. That's why you got hooked up with all this other foolishness, and it's destroying you. It's melting your brain down.
and when I am actively in fight or flight and I am screaming and yelling because I'm terrified and I am trying to protect myself, something that I was not able to do as a child, I get called the crazy one. I get told, I'm going to take your son. I get told that I need to be hospitalized and that I am grossly unstable. But let me tell you something. That is what abusers do. You are not crazy. You are valid to be scared.
Well, I don't know, man. I don't know because, you know, I mean, I don't think it's right for people to threaten to take away other people's kids, right? But you know, in a situation like this woman is saying that she's not crazy. But yeah, I feel like a crazy person would react the way that she's reacting to her mother basically telling her, hey, like your feelings about the world and what's happening are unjustified. And again, maybe you need to go outside, right? Get some fresh air, you know, go touch grass. Okay, get off social media, get out there in the real world and live your life to be happy. I think only a crazy person, right, would be upset and to claim that their mother is abusing them for essentially just giving what I believe to be good advice. But again, you know, the refusal to coddle and to validate this person's feelings, which that's what she's looking for, is a form of abuse, right? It's a form of abuse.
But let me step in and say something right quick. I think her mother is giving her good advice. Her mother's giving her great advice to just don't get consumed with this dumb stuff and live your best life and do what you got to do. I get that. But the thing is, it's the disconnect between them. It's the reason why she's not receiving that plain and simple message. If her and her mother was closer and she had more of a connection with her mother, and her mother told her, yeah, girl, just live your life. Don't worry. She would take it a lot better, and the advice would sit better with her, and she would most likely do it and see the benefits from it. But right now, it's just like words in the air. She's not really absorbing the information from her mother because it's a disconnect. It's just like your computer not plugged in, and you try to turn it on. You can't turn your computer on. It's a disconnect. It's disconnected from the wall. It's a disconnect. She can't connect with her mother to get the plain and simple messages from her because they have a relationship issue that needs to be resolved first before she can receive that from her. That's just what it is. That's what I see.
If you are terrified right now, your nervous system is doing the right thing and responding appropriately. For all of my other biracial Black women out there who understand what this is like, to have a white mother with biases who can so easily turn their head the other way when other people's rights are being taken away. I'm so sorry that you also have to deal with this. Just know that we are in this together, and you have a right to be scared and angry and pissed off. To my other people with abusive mothers out there or abusive parents in general, your reaction to abuse is not abuse. The gaslighting that happens in order to perpetuate the abuse and try to make it seem like you're the problem and not the victim, that is not your fault. Find someone who you trust that can validate you and who knows about your abusive relationship.
Wow. I'm still trying to find out the abuse, right? I am trying to learn what about what the mother said was abuse, right? I don't understand it. Maybe there are new definitions for abuse nowadays, right? I feel like me personally, my definition of abuse would be, I don't know, at the very least, like physical violence, right? Stuff like that. But I don't think that what this woman is going through is a form of abuse. But I don't know, right? Maybe not coddling people, right? Maybe not pacifying them and acknowledging their feelings, right? Regardless of how unjustified they are in having their feelings, right? Maybe not doing that as a form of abuse nowadays. I don't know. But it's just sad. It really is. It's sad to see that we live in a world where you have some people who have drunk the Kool-Aid so much that they feel as if they are under attack personally, that they're in danger, even though they're not. And this is leading to strained relationships with family members, right? It's something that we see quite a bit from these liberals. And, it's just sad. It really is. It really is. Like, it must be hard. It must legitimately be difficult to mentally believe that you are a victim, right? To live your life believing that you are a victim and that you're constantly under attack a white man and the powers that be. It cannot be a happy way to live life, right? It just can't be an enjoyable way to live life. And I don't see anything that this mother said that was incorrect. At the end of the day, some people, hey, you just can't really help them, right? They want to be oppressed, right? They really do. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment.
Okay. I mean, I agree with what he said at the end to a certain degree, but at the same time, too, I'm not for all this emotional stuff, getting all wrapped up in and having a cry with somebody either. I'm more of a logical person. I'm gonna tell you what needs to be done, and we're gonna get past all the emotional stuff, because even if you sit there and cry about it for 10, 12 hours, 2 hours, 10 days, whatever, at the end of the cry, you still have to resolve the issue. So if you just cut out the cry, resolve the issue, less time to cry. Because the issue is resolved, you ain't got to cry afterwards, right? So if you just resolve the issue, no crying necessary, right? Also, too, I think that I know that women operate on a different level, very emotional. Me, I would look at that situation totally different. I would address it totally different. But see, I'm a guy. She's a woman. And she's in her feelings. She emotional because she been through certain things coming through life when she was little. This still with her now. I'll be honest with you. She was closer with her mother. I think that she wouldn't take things so bad. But that's my video. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. And I'll see you next time on the Teddy Mac Show. Peace.